Heyo, it's me Harper Savage, and today I'm going to be doing some digital art for Pride Month. I sketched out a couple of ideas. I started off with the hearts, thinking I wanted to do hearts. But I ended up really not going with that. Like, I sketched up a couple of different shapes, and I put, like, the stripes on to see if that's what I wanted. And it wasn't quite what I was looking for. So I had another idea. And I started to draw, like, some arches. The concept I was trying to come up with was, like, the flags were turning into a rainbow. And it just, like, didn't end up looking like that in the end. Just kind of looks like an arch. Which is fine. But not really what I had intended. So this is the one I chose. I chose, like, kind of the half arch. And I'm just, you know, going in and finalizing the sketch a little bit. I use a different color so I can tell the difference between the original sketch and the second sketch. Don't know why I have to have 20,000 sketch layers, but it's fine, it's fine. This is what happens when I sketch directly on the app digitally. I have 1,000 layers for sketching. Now just kind of stretch it out a little bit to make it fit into the area a little bit better. I also extend the triangle section a little bit more because it felt like it wasn't quite enough in there. Now here I decided to try to use a circle to make the lines the same exact, like, arch degrees. Is that a thing? Like, the same roundness, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. And then I, you know, space them out evenly, or as evenly as possible. I merged them all together at first and warped them, but then I realized that I can't color them as easy that way, so I undo everything I just did there in a, like, few seconds here. Yeah, there we go. And then I go in and do this dramatically long process of coloring each band using a clipping mask method, so I wouldn't have to try to color it in equally, because all the bands were outlined in red. It was just easier this way. I don't know if there's a better way of doing this, but this is how I did it. I feel like this is, like, what half the drawing was me doing this part. And then I try to put them all in a group for some reason, and then I realize I can't do what I want with them separated, so I just merge them all together. And then I go in and outline the cloud. I do end up changing the color of the cloud later. The outlines anyways. Then I erase it and realize I didn't, you know, rewarp it again. So I'm just fitting it into roughly where my sketch outlines are. And then I erase the extra piece. Then, because I want to also make sure I can use this image for just the regular rainbow, I make a new layer for the progress part. And I do basically the same thing I did with the arches, except this time it's a V shape. Where I, you know, do every individual one, and then I, like, fill it up with the color and move it around, you know. You saw it before. And it's at this point that I realize that I'm probably going to need to do line art around the whole thing because of the end color of the triangle is white. And if it's on white background, you can't see it. So I'm just gonna like slice off the extra pieces and touch it up before I get into the line art. I tried to do a clipping mask for this, but it ends up not working out later. So I end up just having to smooth out the edges a little bit, like later on in this. It's really not too much work because the line art is going to cover up the edges of it anyways. So now I'm deciding what colors to make the line art. I thought I wanted it to be the blue and the pink in like the trans colors, but I didn't like that. Like I thought I did, but I ended up not liking it. So I just decided to go with black because it's the easiest color. And it goes with everything. It's already in the flag too, so it matches. And I rounded off the edges because I thought it looked a little too harsh, like I wanted it to be a little bit softer. And I decided to change the cloud to have black outlines as well. It looked a little bit out of place having a different outline color. I'm just changing the background so I'll know what to put it on. If I upload it to Redbubble, I'll have an idea of what color I want the backgrounds to be on the products. And then I just sign it off and I think I'm done at this point. I'll go ahead and slap a name on it. So after looking at it for a while, I actually go and work on a couple of other flag designs. I decided it wasn't really enough. It was too simple and it needed something else. So I go into the regular LGBTQ plus flag and I start doing these drips. Like, I really like the drips, but at this point I wasn't sold on it yet. But I wasn't sure what else I could do to make it a little bit more unique to me anyways. Because it reminds me of like paint, and you know, I'm an artist, so I wanted there to be some art theme across them. Like, the original idea was to have them look like the flag is like turning into the rainbow, and I just couldn't do that. So I think the drips were a good trade-off. But because I still wasn't sold on it, I did make sure I put like everything in its own layer. So that way I could have two versions, or I could decide later which one I liked more. Or I could ask the community, you know, what they thought. Now, I wasn't actually sure if I wanted to do the purple and drips, but I ended up going with that anyways. Just because it would interrupt like the line work I had, but it really wasn't a big deal to add that part on. I even separated that out in case I still wasn't sold on it by the time I was done in a new layer. I had such a hard time with these shines, but I felt like it was empty looking without them. I actually did it quite a few times. I think I cut some of it out. It just like looked a little bit too flat without them, but I wasn't sure what else I could do to kind of make it not look flat. So I eventually do end up settling on keeping the shines on the drips. I was trying to see if I wanted to add more shines anywhere else, but I decided it was like, no, it should just be on the dripping part. That way it's not too much. Like, we went from it being too simple to too not simple enough, if that makes sense. I was trying to be careful to not have too many, but you know, there's a lot still. I keep like zooming in and out to like question if I really want the shines or not. Like, I'm questioning it throughout the entire time I'm making them. Just because I felt like they like didn't look right. Now you'll see the drips and shines are gone now. It's because I'm in the progress file. So it's not done on here. But I went ahead and did the drips on the progress part of the flag. And later I'll just copy and paste the rainbow ones on here, because remember, they were on a separate layer. So that's, you know, thinking ahead worked out in my favor. For some reason, it was a lot easier for me to do the drips on the progress part. I don't know why. Like on the arch, if it was hard. And here I go and copy and paste it in there. And here's where clipping those edges isn't working out here. So I just, you know, straightened them up and it was fine. It was an easy fix. I after looking at it for a few seconds, I decided that those edges were like too straight. So I just, you know, curved them a little bit to make them look like they were melting. And I fixed the line art here. I didn't bother to copy and paste that one over because I had to change it a little bit for the black and the brown part. Now here I'm adding in the shines again. Now on this one, I think the shines are way too much. Like, I'm probably gonna go back and delete some later. But that is pretty much it. Let me know what you think about the drips. Should I keep them? Should I not keep them? And don't forget to do all the cool YouTube things of comment, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!